guys, we're going to talk about my all-around flipping setup that I can really flip anything from a Senko to a jig to a tube, really anything unless you're talking majorly heavy punching or things like that, like really heavy punching, really heavy grass, things like that. And maybe you're probably going to want to go to something different. But for me, I've kind of went to the Seth Feider method, would be the best way to describe it. And that is a little bit lighter rod, but using braid to fluorocarbon flipping. And the rod that I use is a St. Croix Legend Tournament. It's a 7'3" medium heavy workhorse rod. I use, I think it's 30 or 40 pound Seaguar braid, and then I use 20 pound fluorocarbon of your choice. I use Seaguar, I use Red Label or InvizX generally on my flipping. But with that said, I use the 7'3" medium heavy workhorse rod. It's a St. Croix Legend Tournament, and it's a really awesome rod. It's got a soft tip because really the braid makes up for a lot of your power. When you think flipping, you think heavy, heavy rods, things like that. If you're using the braid to fluoro, your braid kind of makes up a little bit on your power, so you can throw it medium heavy and get away with it. And for me personally, it cuts down a lot for me on my cost of line would be number one. Number two is I think my hookup is way better, and I think my landing ratio is way better. So that's from my personal experience. This is when I would say pretty much anything from a ½ ounce under. This is probably the rod that I'm using, obviously depending on the cover, but it's a really awesome setup. And if you guys haven't tried flipping braid to fluorocarbon, try it. I will say that if you have rods that have really small micro guides, probably not gonna be able to do it on that rod. Your best option is to do it on a rod with a little bit bigger guides, or a rod that just has general, standard guides on it. And also you need to make sure you tie the FG knot. I don't have a video on how to do it. I'm not even that good at it, to be honest. And the FG knot is the only way to efficiently fish braid to fluorocarbon on heavier pound tests on your flipping setups. It comes out of the guide way better. And it's really the only way to do it. I've tried some other leader knots that are easier to tie. They don't come out of the guides good enough to make it efficient. But it's an awesome way to do it. Saves you a lot of money. Landing ratio is great. All the above, I have no complaints whatsoever about flipping braid to fluorocarbon, and I'm going to be doing it a lot more from here on out after experiencing it last year. So hopefully these tips help you. Hopefully you try it here soon, and good luck fishing.